Introduction. Comes next is the statement of purpose. It indicates the goal of the study and the direction of the inquiry. Personal goals like what you want to achieve through this research. The statement of purpose is going to be declarative, objective, that is measurable, clear and not ambiguous, and concise in just a sentence or at most two. It indicates the method of study, the variable of interest, the population being studied, and the setting. Examples of a purpose statement, for example, under the general dental practice and non-compliance of patients to antibiotic regimen. The purpose of the study is to identify and evaluate the factors associated with poor antibiotic compliance among dental patients. So now we know how this research direction is going to be, so the audience can relate. Follows next is the research question. The primary details or components studied. This forms a research question. It inquires relationship among the variables. It leads to an hypothesis or the prediction on the relationship of the variables. The hypotheses are the ones which helps in defining what statistical test to be used. And also the research question leads to objectives that will help reach the goal of the study. So a research question also can be described as being a descriptive or an inferential research question. Descriptive is one which it describes what is happening in the population, and infers is when it is the results are inferred from the sample to the population. So descriptive research question is more of exploratory in nature with not much hypothesis. So we do not know what is happening and we want to just explore. So that forms a descriptive research question. Whereas an inference is usually a comparative, an associative, or with a relationship with a clue on the direction and or the magnitude of the result. So we know something that this is what is going to happen. So then we can give a inference research question. Guide to research question. Research questions can be comparative or relationship question or a descriptive research question. Let's go to the first one, comparing groups. Compare groups on an independent variable based on the dependent variable. For example, what is the difference in prevalence of periodontitis between smokers and non-smokers? Could be a comparative research question. Here, based on smoking status, whether a person is smoker or non-smoker, we are finding whether this status would lead to a difference in the periodontitis. So, smoking status is an independent variable, while periodontitis is the outcome or the dependent variable. The second one is a relationship question. What is the relationship of education to quality of life? So this relationship question relates between the independent and dependent variable. So for example, if higher education is reached, then the quality of life can be improved. So that would be the corresponding hypothesis for it. So a relationship question would be like this. What is the relationship of education to quality of life? How education affects quality of life? The third type of research question is a descriptive research question. How do students rate on clinical thinking? So it is description on the independent variable. So on the aspect of clinical thinking, how do the students rate? What is the gender prevalence of caries in 5-year-old children in Malaysia? It is based upon an outcome variable. So a descriptive question describes responses of independent, mediating, or dependent variables. Remember that when you frame a research question, the independent variable and the dependent variable should be measured separately. Another guide to research question for framing of research question is the PICO rule or the PECO rule. So PICO is when an intervention study is being planned. So the study designs will be told in the methodology section. So here right now, just understand that PICO is for intervention or experimental studies, and PECO, where E is exposure, is for observational studies. So a research question can be framed following these four matters, namely population, the persons and the setting being evaluated, intervention, I, which is the change with the investigator plans to do it, and who is he comparing against would be the comparison, which would be another independent variable, and the outcome being studied would be the outcome variable. So we can frame a research question based on this, describing the population in the research question, where the intervention as an independent variable, the comparison as an independent variable, and the outcome being studied as the outcome variable or dependent variable. Let us do an activity. On the topic and problem selected in the earlier activities, state the research purpose, where do you want to do this research, and frame the research question. Use the same Word file as in previous activities and please send it to me. If you do not have the Word file, scan the QR code and access the Word file as before and follow the instructions. Pause the video for scanning the QR code.